Tonight, an unforgettable lineup of talent and creativity is taking over Kelowna After Dark. In the spotlight, Sous chef at the Cactus Club Cafe, Marsh. Reiki master, Bryan Lonergan. Host of the Letterman podcast, Chisholm. Comedian Taryn Anderson. And anchoring the show, the incredible crew of CAD. Get ready, After Darkers. This is Kelowna After Dark. And now, here's your host, Silver LUXX.
Hey, what's up, what's up? Welcome to Kelowna After Dark. I'm Silver LUXX, I'll be your host this evening, and man, we got some guests coming at you tonight. It's gonna be a wild ride. That's right, keep the energy coming. You know, Kelowna isn't just about lakes and wine, although those are pretty fantastic. We're also a thriving hub for art and culture. From the murals and public art installations scattered around town to our vibrant festival, this city is brimming with creativity. I've been trying to keep up with all the art events, but there are so many and it's amazing. There's the art walk, the art on the avenue. Next, they'll have art in the air just to mess with us. Kelowna's also got this cultural district downtown where theaters, galleries, and street performers are always mixing it up. I once saw a Shakespeare trope right next to a breakdancing crew. The line between to be or not to be and pop and lock was pretty thin. And that's what makes Kelowna so special. We're a city where creativity thrives, where urban art meets outdoor beauty. How many places can you boast about murals inspired by the mountains and music festivals that make you feel like you're on top of them? We've got more than just pretty pictures and funky festivals. Kelowna's got the innovative spirit too, with startups blending creativity and businesses. So tonight, we're diving into a creative vibe with some truly incredible guests who are making waves in their field. So sit back, relax, and get ready for another amazing episode of Kelowna After Dark. All right, everyone, our first guest tonight is someone who knows their way around a kitchen like no other. She's the sous chef at Cactus Club Cafe, where she creates culinary delights that keep us all coming back for more. She's got creativity, passion, some serious skills with a chef's knife. Please give a warm welcome to Kat Marsh.
I'm only here for the party. Trust me, we're just getting started. The sound, the vibe, I feel so alive. You're only here for the party. I might just get what I wanted. The sound, trust me, we're just getting started. The sound.
Hey there, pretty lady. Welcome to the show.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for
That's
having
fabulous,
me.
absolutely. We're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We're gonna chat a little. You look lovely.
Oh, I thank you very much.
Absolutely, blue is so your color.
Oh, I would hope so.
Absolutely. Are you ready to dive in some questions with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Great. First, Kat, can you tell us what inspired you to become a chef in the first place?
Yeah, so I think my passion for cooking kind of started when I was younger. And a lot of that's attributed to my uncle. He's a chef. He actually worked for Cactus for a long time.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so he was in culinary school and I was always spending time with him on the weekends. And we'd always be cooking up new things in the kitchen. Just exciting and fun. And then I turned 15. I got my first job and it had to be a kitchen. And I think just seeing the excitement and, you know, the passion that people put into their dishes just made me excited. It's really cool to work with like-minded people who are just excited to learn and to grow and to just build that passion. And it just kind of kept me going, I think.
Right on. That sounds super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That sounds great. Cactus Club Cafe has a unique vibe and experience. Can you tell us about the details that set your venue apart from other places in Kelowna?
Yeah, I think it's 100% our guest experience and our guest satisfaction. From the moment we hire an employee, we're instilling them with our company motto, which is that every guest leaves happy. We're constantly, you know, reviewing feedback and comment cards, online reviews and things like that to just kind of hone in the experience. Simple things like the lighting being too dark or the music being too loud, they might seem like really small, but they actually make a big impact on your dining experience. And we just want to make sure that it's a good impact and not a bad one. It's the same thing with our food. If we hear somebody commenting on, like, you know, a dish being too salty or there not being enough sauce, we're following up with our kitchen partners and we're making sure that they're striving for the experience to be better.
Yeah.
We care a lot about our guests and it shows and they can see that. And that's what makes them want to keep coming back, which is important because we wouldn't have a business without them. So,
yeah, that's fair points, eh?
Yeah, I think it's, guest satisfaction for sure.
Yeah, I think you guys are like top notch at that. Sterling and I go there. The experience is unparalleled, honestly, for
And
like
that's the point.
the vibe, and I
Mhm.
love the lighting, but the food, dude. Oh
The
my
food?
God, the
Oh.
food.
It's got to be everybody's favorite
Oh,
part.
it's so good. I mean, you're right on the lake too. That doesn't kind of hurt at all.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I have to ask, what's the strangest ingredient that you've ever worked with?
Okay, I think the strangest thing I've ever worked with would have to be durian. So
Okay.
it was during this black box challenge that my friends and I were doing. Basically, one of your friends would gather a box of random ingredients for you, and you'd have an hour to make a dish with them.
That's
So
cool.
I opened the box, and there's chicken and garlic and potatoes, like normal stuff.
Mhm.
And then there's a durian. And if you've never worked with a durian or like seen a durian,
Mhm.
the smell is very interesting. I've heard it be described as wet socks or dirty gym
Ooh.
socks, if that gives anybody an inkling.
Super yummy. It's a fruit, right?
It is a fruit,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
The nice thing, though, is that it tastes a lot better than it smells. It's kind of like custardy and more sweet, I guess. So I ended up just making a sauce for the chicken, and then it tasted good once you got past the smell. But
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to try that. Chefs are often like artists, and every artist has their canvas. What is your favorite dish to create and why?
it's got to be pasta, like literally any type of pasta. I just love it. There's something so satisfying about working with fresh pasta. You have this like blank canvas that you can shape any way you want. You can make it different textures, infuse it with herbs and spinach if you wanted to. And that's just the dough. And then there's the sauce, like
Whole other thing.
carbonaras, Alfredos, bolognese. Those are all super simple ones. And it just like expands from there. You can get so creative based on like the ingredients you want to experiment or just what kind of food you feel like eating. I love pasta. And no pasta is complete without cheese. And I love cheese. So it is just a win-win.
Absolutely, dude. Like cheese is number one.
Oh, yeah.
We're besties, slumber party and everything.
Oh yeah. I'll make you a nice creamy Alfredo.
Okay, yummy. Okay, now I'm super hungry, girl. We know that being a chef is a high pressure job. So how do you stay calm and creative in a really busy kitchen?
Yeah, so I've learned that staying calm in a high pressure situation it takes a lot of time and patience. I've been doing it for 9 years and I don't even have it mastered yet. But I think there's 3 main things that kind of I stick by to help me get through it. The first one is critical thinking. You got to learn to be able to take a step back, kind of assess the situation, break everything down into manageable tasks. And that just helps the flow of the service go better. And it helps your team realize that, we have a plan. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then I think humor is another really big one. It's when you have like a well-timed joke or, a lighthearted moment with your team, it helps show them that, we're all human. We're all in this together. We're all going to make it through. We're going to laugh about it now and we'll laugh about it later. It's going to be okay.
That's great.
And then I think the last one, professionalism, it kind of ties it all together. You can be funny and you can have critical thinking, but if you're not professional about it, you're not going to have a team that trusts you. If you don't have a team that trusts you, they're not going to want to follow you. Everything's going to fall apart. So I think just staying professional is super important.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you set a really great example for your staff.
I would hope so.
Yeah, and you encourage a really positive vibe.
Yeah.
So sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I saw some of those pictures on your intro. Okay, what were you doing with those chickens, girl?
Okay, we were stuffing them. We were stuffing them with stuffing. Nothing weird, nothing crazy.
Okay, recreate it for me.
It was
Did it.
just-
Whoa, chickens. All right, cool. All right, just had to. What's a common cooking mistake that you see people do in the kitchen?
It's how you hold your knife. I've watched people, and this is like everybody at work knows this is my biggest pet peeve. And if we have a new cook who's never used a knife before and they see them holding their knife wrong, they tell them, hey, you better fix that before Kat comes around. So most people will hold their knife with their finger on the top of the blade
Like
and
that.
their thumb on the side. It's so unsafe. You don't have the stability in your wrist. You don't get as good as a precise cut on what you're doing. You can't cut as fast. And ultimately, it's going to make your wrist hurt.
No, we don't want that.
No, the best way to do it is having your thumb and your finger on either side of the blade.
Like that.
It gives you a lot more stability. You're more efficient with your cuts, and it's a lot safer.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We don't want to cut people. That wouldn't be fun.
No,
Or
that
ourselves.
would not be fun. No.
So we're like
I've
this.
been there. I got the scars
Yeah.
to prove
I've
it.
bandaged you up, girl. I know you get rowdy up in the kitchen, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
do your do. That's great. Do you have any advice for aspiring chefs?
Yeah, I have a few things. My first thing is just stay passionate and just embrace your love for cooking. That's going to be the main thing that fuels your journey. And that's really important to remember because you also have to be resilient. It's such a challenging and demanding experience being in the culinary world. And if you forget why you started doing it in the first place, you're not going to succeed and you're just going to be stuck, and nobody wants to be stuck.
No, that's not a great place to be.
And then my last thing, this is something that we tell all of our employees. It's one of our core values, and it's practice Kaizen.
Okay.
Kaizen is the art of constant improvement and constantly doing better than you were.
Nice.
That's really important because in the culinary world, there is so much to explore and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stay curious and be willing to learn.
That's great advice. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One final question.
Okay.
If you weren't a chef, what else would you do?
I am actually a musician as well.
Oh.
I make songs. I have songs out on Spotify, and I've done a few shows out in Kelowna, which is really fun. So it's cool to have that balance of being a chef and then also being able to express myself through music. So I think I would kind of dive more into the musician side of me.
That's fabulous. That's great to have two creative outlets like that in completely different
Super
areas.
different fields,
Yeah.
and it's super cool. It's nice.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, way to go. Look at you living your best life. That's wonderful.
Woohoo.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and sharing all of your insights and your
Yeah.
passion with us. I truly enjoy talking with you.
Me as well. Thanks for having me. I had a
Absolutely.
blast.
Me too.
Dope.
Let's make some noise for Kat Marsh, guys. Awesome. Thank you so much, lovely.
Thank you very much. You did great.
Have a great night. Now we're switching gears from culinary arts to the healing arts. Our next guest is here to teach us all about the ancient practice of Reiki and maybe help us find a little inner peace tonight as well. I'm definitely in the mood for some chakra realignment, or at least to try to figure out where mine went wrong. Please help me welcome Bryan, Reiki Master, to the stage. Hey Bryan, how you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on the show. Let's chat. I'm so excited to have you here with us tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, chat about your journey, and you've done some really interesting things. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been exciting.
Right on. You ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Great. Let's begin with a bit of context for our audience who maybe doesn't really know what it is that you do or understand kind of what's going on there. What do you do with Reiki?
Well, so Reiki is an ancient healing practice that was discovered by Dr. Mikao Sous in the late 1800s. And it differs from most healing techniques where to be a Reiki practitioner, you have to become attuned to Reiki. And then that just allows the energy to flow through you better. And you become like a conduit to be able to share that energy with other people. And the word Reiki is made of two Japanese characters. And roughly translated, it means universal life force energy. So the Rei would be the universal consciousness, which is like all knowing.
That's
Comes
cool.
from like higher self or higher consciousness. And the key would be like the life force energy part of the word. And that's the same as like mana in Hawaiian and prana in Sanskrit.
That's super rad.
Yeah.
I dig that for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is interesting. You've had such an inspiring journey from healing a physical injury to finding peace through Reiki. Can you share with us how you first discovered Reiki and what drew you to the healing practice?
Yeah, Reiki actually first discovered me. It was funny. I was using like bots to get more graphic design contacts on LinkedIn after I graduated from the Center for Arts and Technology, actually. And it was funny because one of the people who accepted my invitation was a student in the exact same program here, but the next run through.
That's neat.
And we just got to chatting, and she mentioned that she was in Italy and offered me a free 15-minute Reiki session from a distance.
Yeah.
So I just, I didn't know much about Reiki at the time, just that it was like energy work and it could be quite healing and transformative. So I just gave it a shot and went from there.
That's awesome. It definitely seemed to take hold there and really sit well with you. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. From what I understand, Reiki is just one part of your healing practice. You also do guided meditations. Can you tell us how you combine Reiki with that to get a deeper healing?
Yeah, so like when the body is more relaxed, it's able to heal itself better. And it's also able to receive energy better, and the energy can go where it needs to go with greater ease because the body is in a more relaxed state. And so then I just combine Reiki with meditation and throat singing as well. For like all of my sessions, I'll incorporate all three because it just works the best that way.
Yeah, that sounds really unique experience. Very cool. You mentioned you had a transformative experience with a shaman and that unlocked your ability to throat sing. Can you describe what that was like?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was like definitely out of this world for sure. It was a plant medicine ceremony, and plant medicines can be quite powerful sometimes. So it was like I'd achieved a state of bliss almost. Like when the medicine took effect, I just leaned back, and it was like the world. It was like an inward journey, and I just started to throat sing out of nowhere. And I'd been kind of trying to learn before when I was at work, but I wasn't getting it. I was working with someone from Mongolia.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like part of their culture there. Huge part of their culture. So he would just kind of laugh and be like, no. And then when I came back, after that experience with the shaman, I showed him, and he was like, whoa, how did you do this?
Yeah, just unlock something inside you, eh?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
What a trip.
Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, because that's some neat stuff. And I can imagine, like, as you're trying and you're not finding and then just to have it come out of nowhere, that would be super rad.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. You're also working on a 20-minute track titled The Year of the Dragon. Can you tell us a bit more about that project and how it incorporates the things that you do?
Yeah, so it's like a passion project. It incorporates just all the things I enjoy, like animation and throat singing and just music, making the music and the track. And then I put the Reiki into it as well through like the layers of the art and through my voice, because like our voices are a lot more powerful than most of us realize. Just through words, you can convey energy and emotion.
Absolutely.
So that all goes through everything.
Yeah, that's so neat. I've been finding some stuff that's really been pointing towards manifestation, really dwelling within in what you say and in the intention behind what you say too. So that's neat. I super dig that. You have an event coming up on October 27th at the Laurel Packing House. What can people expect if they come to see you perform there?
I'll be doing like 20-minute sessions, I think, 20 or 30-minute sessions where I'll do a quick guided meditation, and then I'll share some Reiki and throat singing as well. And I might even bring my shruti box too.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I'm talking with them, and I might do a short performance there as well sometime throughout the day, but we'll see about that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it will be really fun.
Right
Looking
on.
forward to it.
Let's talk about your intuitive design process. How do you approach creating your healing sessions and throat singing tracks?
My healing sessions are different for everyone. Even if like you were to come today and then again tomorrow, it'd be different just because I just follow where the energy goes, and it's not going to go to the same place every time. And everybody has different issues or things that need dealing with or areas they want to improve on even. So it's always going to be different. And then same with the throat singing that comes through in my sessions too. It's always unique and different each time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And what advice would you give someone who's new to Reiki or meditation and just kind of wants to start their healing journey?
Just to trust your intuition and not rush, because everyone heals at their own pace, and there's no need to rush. Like everything just happens as it's supposed to happen. And just not to rush and not to give up too, because sometimes like just beyond that threshold is like where the greatest gifts are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just got to persevere, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
We get to do something a little fun tonight, right? You're going to take us on a guided meditation.
Yeah, it should be fun.
That's awesome. Well, I am going to relinquish the floor to you, and I will follow any instructions that you tell me. You just let me know what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
Awesome.
Just like to invite everyone to just focus on your breath and take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose if that's comfortable, and notice if the air feels a little bit cooler as it comes in than it does when you breathe out. And we'll start by just relaxing our body. We'll start at our feet, relaxing all our toes and our ankles, come up into our calves and thighs. If we lose track of thought, just focus back on our breath and bring that relaxation up in through our torso and our backs, into our neck, up into our head. And if you feel comfortable in the audience or comfortable in your space at home, I invite you to close your eyes, and I'll do a short guided meditation through us but if you get lost in your thought, just focus back on your breath and it will bring you back to a state of calm. So I'd like to picture yourself on a deserted beach on the ocean several thousand years ago, at the primeval sea in front of you, and the night is clear and the stars are twinkling in the sky, reflecting off the ocean. The crescent moon appears over the horizon, and as it begins to go through the air, it reaches a full moon as it reaches its peak. The air is warm, and so is the water, and the waves are coming up onto the shore very slightly and settling with the foam. And as they recede back into the ocean, they take a minute and pause. I want you to focus and try and concentrate and imagine those waves as your breath coming in as the waves come up on the shore. And then take a short break, and as the foam settles and recedes back, breathe out and repeat the process. And as you lay on the shore, you hear the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And the moon continues back down and begins to set into back a crescent shape. And the sun begins to rise over the horizon, forming a disc shape. And as it rises up and the bright light, the warm embrace of the sun envelopes your body and you open your eyes.
That's lovely. I
Thank
feel
you.
so zen.
Thanks.
Like that I really enjoyed that. Thank you for sharing that
You're
with us.
welcome.
That was lovely. I really liked that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So before you go, do you have any advice for anyone who would maybe want to teach this and guide like you do?
Find a good instructor, someone who you can trust and relate with well,
Mm-hmm.
and try and find people with lots of experience. That's where I kind of went, was just someone who resonated well with me and had lots of experience to teach me as well. And yeah, gender doesn't matter either. Like, it's funny, I've noticed from my journey, it's predominantly women that are into
Wow.
this. Yeah.
I wouldn't have
It's-
assumed that.
And
That's neat.
it's funny because in the beginning, when Reiki was first discovered, it was only men.
Really?
Yeah. And then when the war came, he passed it on to a lady named Hawaii Takara, who
Okay.
brought Reiki also to the Western world because she came to Hawaii.
Oh, all right. That's
Yeah.
so neat.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I really appreciate you coming in and sharing this with us. I'm so excited to have you come back on in a little bit.
Me too.
So yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to shake your hand, sir. Thank you for guiding us through that. That was
Thank you.
wonderful. And yeah, I'll call you back on in a little bit.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to take a small break and we're going to be back with some more fantastic guests in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Hey there, folks. Andrew here reporting from the heart of Kelowna's Farmers Market, where the veggies are fresh and the vendors are friendlier than your Nana. So let's go talk to some of them and find out what's so great about the Farmers Market. All right, I'm here with Kelsey. Kelsey, why don't you start by telling us the name of your business here?
We are Tanya Ray Fishing, wild caught BC salmon, tuna, shrimp, and a whole bunch more.
Delicious. What brings you to this market specifically?
Well, you know what? We have a good following of people here, and they love to buy wild caught BC seafood, and it's hard to get here in this community.
Okay, and besides your own business, obviously, do you have another favorite business that you like to shop at while you're here?
Well, I promote all the businesses around here because we sell seafood, and there's lots of condiments and salads and flowers and desserts and everything that goes along with our products.
Sharon, why don't we start by saying the name of your business?
Bent wire jewelry,
Bent Wire Jewelry. And how long has Bent Wire Jewelry been around?
10 years.
10 years, all right.
Okay, what would you say is your favorite thing about making jewelry?
It's relaxing. And if you do a lot of hammering, it gets a lot of stress out. I just enjoy it. It's relaxing, something for me to do.
Something to take the edge off the day.
Well, I was kind of retired and then I needed something to do and this keeps me busy.
That's good. We all need something to keep us busy, don't we? I'm standing here with Andrew, and first of all, great name. And second of all, why don't you say the name of your business here?
It's Gamble Farms.
What keeps you coming back to this market specifically?
We like the people, mainly. You know, it's definitely a good place to sell all of our fruits and vegetables. That's the main reason why we come. You know, it's always fun. We have we're all like a family here, and all of our neighbor vendors, we all get along. So it's a great place.
You ever get together with the other farms and compare the size of your cucumbers?
Sometimes. Mine's a little small though compared to.
Oh, don't say that. Come on now, give yourself some credit here. At least you got some big apples.
That's right.
Those things are huge.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for talking to me
Yeah,
today,
no
Andrew.
problem.
Gamble Farms, check them out. They got big apples. All right, thanks a lot. All right, I'm here with Rosemary. Rosemary, why don't you tell us the name of your business and tell us a little bit about it?
The name of our business is Studio Papillon, and there's a long story involved in that, but mainly because when we bought our land, it was covered in butterflies, and papillon is the French word for butterflies.
That's right, my dad had a papillon. Anyway, see, what made you realize you were addicted to jewelry making?
I think it was the very first gem show that I went to in Tucson, Arizona, which is overwhelming. And there was just this fantastic assortment of stones, and I really got involved in finding out about the stones, their properties, and just how beautiful they are, and how you know they make you feel good when you're wearing them. And then I started investigating ways of setting them and making them into earrings. And you know, I like learning things. I suppose basically when it comes down to it, I like learning things.
Yeah.
And this was just a great opportunity for me to do that. I mean, pottery, you never finish learning, but I just wanted something new. So now I do both.
So the real addiction is learning.
Yes, the real addiction is learning.
And there you have it, folks, the farmers market, where the fresh finds and the friendly faces come together every weekend. Thank you so much to all the vendors who spent their time talking with me today. Back to you in the studio, Silver.
Welcome back to Kelowna After Dark. All right, everyone, we have a fantastic guest coming up next. He's the host of the Letterman podcast, a show dedicated to celebrating the work and the legacy of the legendary David Letterman. He's a super fan turned storyteller who's turned his passion into an incredible podcast that's gaining some serious buzz. Please give a very warm welcome to Mike Chisholm. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you here.
Real good to be here.
Absolutely. Take a seat. Let's chat. We are thrilled to have you here tonight.
This is fantastic.
Super fun, right?
This is fantastic that you're doing this in the city of Kelowna.
Absolutely. What better place
when I heard about it, I was just absolutely mesmerized, and I reached out to you immediately.
Yeah, you were on that, man.
Oh yeah, no. This is fantastic. Isn't this awesome?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. I dig it so much. Are you having a good time?
Absolutely. Rad time for sure.
Fantastic.
Incredible people to talk to. What could be bad about that?
Yeah, well, present company excluded, but yeah, I mean, no, this is really cool. I'm really, I'm honored that you asked me to be on here.
Absolutely.
This is really cool.
I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm born and raised in this city, and the
That's
idea
cool.
and my connection to the world of late night, although, slight, super exciting to have it happening here.
That's fun, right?
Yeah.
I was so surprised that there wasn't already something like this. I thought for sure we've got to have something like that.
No,
but
it's great. This is great, and I wish you much success. Thank you very much for
I appreciate
letting me
that.
be on here tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming, joining the fun.
Yeah.
Super rad. You ready to dive in some questions with me?
Oh, whatever you like, Silver. It's your show.
Let's do it. You are obviously a huge fan of David Letterman, and you've turned that passion into your podcast. So how did that journey begin for you?
Oh man, it's a long story. I've mapped out. I had an encounter with the show, with Late Show with David Letterman. Dave is the longest running television talk show host in history. He is the influence of a legion of stand-ups, performance artists, and of course he has the most decorated career in broadcasting ever, as far as I'm concerned. So I needed to go and see the show one more time, and it was a month before he retired. And do you believe in serendipity? Do you
Absolutely. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like the older I get, the more I believe in it.
Yeah, here to that idea.
But no, I mean, I kind of manufactured this moment where I would have my picture taken behind Dave's desk, and I kind of had that figured out with some of the people that I kind of knew behind the scenes of the show that I'd reached out to over the internet.
Yeah.
But then the universe kind of said, "Hold my beer." Like I got my picture taken behind the desk, but the universe said, "Hold my beer. I got something better for you." Dave does a Q&A before the show.
Right.
And I had thought I'd thrown it out to the universe that I really wanted to be called on for that Q&A.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
I knew I was going to be in the first couple of rows of the show, and as we were ushered to our seats, I sat right in front of where his monologue spot was.
That's
front
smart.
row, right on the very left. Dave comes out for the Q&A before the show, picks a guy that I saw online, and then I have my hand up. And I had this salmon jacket that my wife had just made me purchase at Century 21 the day before.
That's awesome.
And she goes, "It's salmon, it'll pop."
Yeah.
When you're got your hand up, you might. So anyway, sure enough, it worked.
Brilliant.
Dave called on me, and we had this exchange. It was probably 2 or 3 minutes, asking my name, where I'm from, asked about Kelowna, all that sort of stuff. I was a bit of a brat talking to him. And
love it.
And then he turned around. I asked a couple of questions that were kind of bratty, and he turned around to Paul Schaefer, who's also Canadian. And he said, "Paul, these Canadians, they're supposed to be, they're just, they're supposed to be polite. They're supposed to be all these things." And the whole audience is laughing at me. Okay. And I'm in my glory.
Absolutely.
David Letterman is making fun of me.
That's great.
Yeah. And we finish our exchange. And the show starts. And the first thing he does, he had made fun of my salmon jacket, actually. And so the first thing he says before he starts his monologue is, "Oh, if you're really good, we'll get you a jacket." And he turns and the camera pans onto me in the audience. And okay, so as a Letterman enthusiast, it's a moment of a lifetime.
Absolutely. That would have been so surreal.
So it's a month before he retires. The New York Times is on hand. They're doing their final spread on him. Normally, only the CBS photographer, who I've actually had on my show, cool, would be able to take pictures there. But the New York Times is doing a spread on David Letterman because he was retiring. And there was a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer there named Damon Winter. And Damon Winter happened to be shooting behind the scenes of that show. So to our surprise, in the New York Times the next day, if there isn't a picture of the Q&A of the moment that David Letterman is looking back at Paul Schaefer making fun of me, so that's on the left, and on the right is me in the audience with the entire audience laughing at me. Black and white photo, New York Times, New Yorker, all of that. That moment was one of the greatest moments of my life. It's 1 billion to 1 shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's 1 billion to 1 shot. And so after that picture was taken, my connection with the show, the folks who worked on the show started to deepen and deepen. And so that in a nutshell, that was kind of if there's a lily pads that lead us to where we are now, that was the first one probably.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Like what a neat experience.
It was super, super cool. Like, I'm just blessed. I can't believe it. Like if you would have told like 21-year-old Mike, that moment would happen at some point. 21-year-old Mike would have said, "There's no way."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so many things have to come together in the world to make that happen.
It's money cannot manufacture that. Like
No.
it's not something you could. There's no way. Silver, since starting the podcast, I've had dozens of those moments.
Wow.
Dozens of those pinch me. I can't believe I'm interviewing Steve O'Donnell. He's like one of the greatest comedy writers of all time.
That's wild.
Here's Jeff Altman, who's one of my favorite old school comedians, on my show. Paul Schaefer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had Paul Schaefer on the show, and so many other people with these conversations, these things that I've gotten to do with the Letterman people. It's been a really cool ride so far.
That sounds amazing. I mean, the world just comes together when you're sitting in your authentic self, I think.
Man, there is no time I am more authentic than when I am talking to a former staffer about, an infamous or a famous moment on the show or something, and getting the behind the scenes stories is really, really great.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's a miracle that the podcast didn't exist, because there's a huge fan base out there.
Yeah, clearly.
Who want to know this stuff, and that universal timing. It's just, I'm very, very grateful.
That's wild. I love it. I'm glad that everybody's just lining up and coming in and having some adventure. It's good for you.
Yeah,
that's fabulous. So your podcast features some incredible guests who have worked really closely with Letterman. So how do you go about selecting who you're going to have on your show?
Well, actually, selecting isn't. It's more like begging.
Okay, I get that vibe. I get that.
It's more like, no, one of Dave's producers worked for him for 32 years. His name is Rick Sheckman. Shecky was featured on dozens of moments over the show. He and I became friends.
That's
and,
neat.
I said to him, he was very much a cinephile. So we would always talk in movie analogies with each other.
Oh, I
He's
like
passed.
that.
He's since passed now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was rough. But I said to him, I don't know, have you familiar with The Godfather? You know The
Absolutely.
Godfather? So I said to him, look, Rick, I'm thinking about starting this show, but I need a consigliere. I need a Tom Hagen.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm there for you, Mike. And so he set me up with a few very high key people within the Letterman mythos.
Wow. Eh?
Yeah, Steve O'Donnell, the writer I just mentioned. I mean, he's written on so many things. He's a Seinfeld writer. He wrote Space Ghost from Coast to Coast. He wrote, with Norm Macdonald, just a legend. So he set me up with him. Well, the moment I had Steve on, every writer who ever worked for Dave basically worshipped Steve O'Donnell.
Yeah, they're all going to just domino in.
And so now I'm talking to these people. And the network has just spread and spread and spread and spread and spread. And it just, it's happening organically. I will never have someone, as the show gets bigger, I'll never have someone book the show. I'm always going to book the show.
I get
because
that.
it's the beginning of a relationship that I can have with these staffers. And you asked how we select who's eligible. Anybody who worked for the show, whether they were an intern, all the way up to somebody who was there for the entire 35-year run. So we also have people who have been tangentially connected with the show, like perhaps they were a stupid human trick or a stupid pet trick. Or something like, because Letterman involved the audience in such a major way. So there's a lot of people there that we could talk, and then guests, of course, as well. We've got some very, very, very big name guests that are about to come on our show, like household names, who just want to talk about their time guesting on Dave. So the trajectory of the show is going in a very interesting. Did I answer your question? I don't even know.
I think so. I'm just enjoying listening to you talk, honestly.
I'm a podcast host. I can talk. That's just,
yeah, you can.
I've got
this
two
is
podcasts,
interesting.
actually. I've got two podcasts.
You have two, do you?
I do. I also host a men's mental wellness podcast. And that's where I got my, if I have podcasting chops, that's where I got them.
Right on.
Do I have a second to go down a path here? With that?
Let's take an adventure.
So the men's mental wellness podcast that I host, my wife has a men's mental health app that she's built called He Changed It. And so
that's pretty neat.
A few years ago, I said to her, how can I help? And she goes, well, we need a podcast. We don't have any money for marketing. So, and I started hosting this men's mental wellness podcast that supports the app that my wife and her team are building.
That's special.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I adore it. It's a lot of fun. Well, I've talked to, men's mental wellness is like a silent crisis. The World Health Organization calls it one of the world's most serious silent crisis.
Wow.
A lot of guys don't talk. They bottle things in and whatnot. So anyway, I have these men with a story, or counselors, psychologists, people on my show. And all of them are saying that these guys are in their 40s and 50s and they're popping. They're either having heart attacks or getting really, really sick. They go through relationship breakup. And I mean, unfortunately, like 7 out of 10 suicides are middle-aged men.
Yeah.
And so the advice that was given to these guys, that many of them have stuff inside them. You may not play in front of 20,000 people, but get a guitar, learn 10 chords, and then you can play, 90% of songs out there. You're not going to play for the Vancouver Canucks or the Los Angeles Kings. I'm a big Kings fan. You're not going to play for them, but you could go and play in a beer league.
That's true.
So I am hearing this week after week on HeCast, and I'm thinking, I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't doing the same thing. And I literally started the Letterman podcast just for that. And it just, after episode 1, it started to catch fire. And I'm so grateful.
That's awesome. Yeah, you were like all over online, dude.
It's organic. I'm not doing anything to push it out there. I'm just literally enjoying every second, trying to be as present as possible. Because if it does go up a level, you're going to be thinking back that you weren't present enough when you were in the building stages, the embers, right? So I'm really trying to be present about it.
I really like that you have the foresight to be able to like look at that and go, okay, I'm going to be present in this moment, take it in, enjoy it. Usually that's something that a lot of people miss and it becomes a regret, right? So good on you to be there.
The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Highly recommend.
Yes,
That's,
incredible. I agree.
It's a mental gym for exactly what you were just talking about. That's if you want to learn how to be present, read that book.
Absolutely, I really enjoyed the way that you just described that, though.
Ah,
that
cool.
was good. Yeah.
All right.
Right on. I dig it.
So I guess I'm a half decent podcast host.
You're fabulous. Whatever. You're awesome. I dig it. Your podcast also touches on your personal experiences, like attending the Letterman events, and what's one memory for those events that like stands out to you the absolute most beyond that moment with the jacket?
Yeah, that's
that's it.
It's super easy.
Yeah.
No, it's a super easy
Okay.
one. So Late Show with David Letterman filmed at the Ed Sullivan Theater for over 22 years, right in the heart of New York, Broadway and 57th Street. Well, the building has businesses attached to it. And down 57th Street, there's a little deli called the Hello Deli. And there was a guy by the name of Rupert G. Rupert G owned the Hello Deli. And when Dave moved into that theater, they had a Meet the Neighbor segment, and they went and met Rupert. Well, the relationship began, and Rupert appeared on Late Show with David Letterman like over 500 times.
Wow.
He was a staple on the show.
Yeah, I need to just get a bed in the back, I guess, eh?
Yeah. You know the show Survivor?
Yes.
Okay, so Dave hated doing the stuff for the network. He didn't enjoy it very, very much. So, and the network was always like, hey, the person who got kicked off Survivor, you should have them on as a guest. Well, he wouldn't bring them on the stage. He made them go into Rupert's Deli and he interviewed them via satellite.
That's funny.
From Rupert's Deli. Yeah, it's just, so Rupert, anyway, the Hello Deli is actually the one sponsor of the Letterman podcast. It's Rupert. Rupert and we've become great friends.
Right on.
Last year he sold the deli. And Dave's production company, Worldwide Pants, put on a retirement party for him at the Ed Sullivan Theater.
That's cool.
Okay. I spoke at that party.
Get out of town.
The audience, 99% of the audience were Dave's people. Like there's, I don't want to name, yeah, sure. There's one of his executive producers, Rob Burnett. There's one of his executive producers, Barbara Gaines. There's Steve O'Donnell. There's some of my favorite writers of all time. There's Steve Young. Oh my God.
How did you even talk? How were you not just fanboying all the way?
It was very easy. It was very easy because Rupert and his partner May, who ran the deli all that time, I adore them. I love them. And I'm freaked out. Yes, I'm like freaked out. But then I just look at Rupert and May and it's like, you know what? I'm going to talk about my friends that I love.
That's awesome.
And I made a couple of these people. It's funny. I made a joke. I made them laugh.
That's
and I mean,
great.
these are some of the most jaded human beings on the planet, these comedy writers, right?
Yeah.
And that was actually the thing that made them laugh, is I referenced that. And then I made a few of them emotional.
Wow.
And I mean, again, 21-year-old Mike, yeah, one day you're going to take the people who make this show, who are your heroes, and you're going to take them on a bit of an emotional thing.
Just wow.
And it's on YouTube. It's on the official Letterman YouTube channel.
That's insane.
Like I'm just, yeah, like
when does that happen? Who does that happen to, right?
Thank you.
That's never like
Tell me serendipity doesn't exist.
Absolutely it does.
You
were like,
I mean, just it's
all over that.
It's crazy. And the memories are still being built right now. There's a documentary I'm working on.
Really?
With potentially, well, it's with a bunch of it's with Robert Morton, who is, they used to call him the Prince of New York. He was Dave's executive producer when Dave was at his hottest.
Okay.
And Morty and I have become friends, and we're like working on a project together.
That's wild. Look at you,
and I'm
one
just
of the
a
cool
little
kids
financial
now.
advisor from Kelowna who just...
You're not a little nothing from anything. You are a badass.
Well,
you are totally rad, man.
I mean, it's the nerdiest badass ever. If that's
Heck
badass,
yes.
I don't know if badass is...
Absolutely.
It's pretty. It's a pretty weak, pretty Poindexter badass. I don't know.
That's the best kind, man. You want someone who's smart and just got all the geek gear. And no, that's the way to be. You got to be gaming out and having fun.
I don't feel any of that bill except for the geek part. That part I can.
That's cool. All right, we just love the geekiness in general. I'm here for the vibe. I'm a total gamer girl. I'm a total geek.
Right on.
Yeah, I dig it. It was good.
I play Fortnite.
Yes, Fortnite. All right. Yeah. There we go. Get some love. That's great.
My character looks like Marvel's War Machine right now. I'm delighted by it. I'm delighted by it.
That's awesome, man. So you've built a community of fans who love to share their admiration for
Yes.
Letterman with you. What has been the most rewarding part of that?
The fan base? Yeah, well, right from the very beginning, we also include members of the community on the show.
Oh, neat.
So
okay.
there's a guy who's got like a Letterman Facebook group that has like, I don't know, tens of thousands of members.
Wow.
And so I had him, he's the mod of that, so I have him on the show. Sure, let's talk about that a little bit. I've got people who, so the community is coming out, and I've actually had, like, our latest episode that just came out is with a TV historian named Allison Lips. Now, she is like almost 20 years my junior, and she's a TV historian from a millennial point of view.
That's neat.
It is. It's a super neat contrast. And so she comes on my show, and we go deep. We go 2 hours. We get into cancel culture, and we get into free speech and things like that, with Letterman's shows as the backdrop, as the historical record. John Mulaney was just recently on at Letterman's show, won an Emmy for that episode of My Next Guest with David Letterman. So I mean, here's a guy who, God, 45 years later is still winning Emmys and having this, incredible conversations with fascinating people. And he's the broadcaster of our generation.
Yeah, I would agree with you. There's some like stellar stuff there. And I like how you contrast it with the history of that. I think that's really neat.
There's a lot of historical, going back to the Johnny Carson, and of course back to the origins of the Tonight Show. It is a fascinating evolution. We saw history. Books have been written on it. Many books have been written on it. And the fact that, God, I mean, I can say I'm a part of it. It's crazy. I'm very,
awesome.
very, very grateful.
I love how passionate you are and how positive you are. And I love how that comes through in how you talk.
I appreciate that. That's my disposition.
That's
not
awesome,
always.
man.
None of us are perfect, but that's if I'm in my green zone, that's the one that you just described it. They're enthusiastic and positive, and just let's all win together. Let's seize the day, right?
Absolutely. I'm totally vibing with lifting people up and just positivity
and I mean, hey, I'm 48 at the time of this recording. I really only started doing it at 45.
That's so crazy.
So it's never too late to kind of broaden the horizon and stretch yourself. You never know what'll happen if you do that. So
that's wild, man.
Yeah.
I so appreciate you chatting with us about this. This is so neat.
Cool.
But I heard that you brought a show reel with you.
A clip. I brought a clip. Well, it's a talk show,
Thank
right?
you, sir.
You gotta bring a clip if you're gonna
Absolutely.
do a talk show, right? And I thought, okay, if I can bring a clip from the show, I thought, who better than Paul Schaefer's episode? Paul Schaefer, of course, David Letterman's band leader, and some would call sidekick. He was much more than that. Paul was the musical director and band leader for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for well over a decade. Wow. And he's he's a Canadian, the Royal Order of Canada. He's got that as well. And so I thought we'd bring a clip of Paul. I'll set it up real quick. The band, Dave's band, later on, Paul had a secret microphone where he could talk to the band, and many times he would talk to the band and he would make fun of things, people coming out who were wearing hair pieces and things like that. And he had this, it was kind of a show behind the show. So the clip asks me about, is me asking him about that.
Awesome. Let's take a look. Yeah.
I've asked a couple of the bandmates about the show behind the show. And I always loved the idea of that. Whenever either Hal or Jerry would cut over to you and you were talking in the microphone, it might have only been Jerry. It might have been actually after Hal retired, where you had the microphone where you guys could have your own little shindig going on in the background and making each other cut up and laugh and all that kind of stuff. I've asked about the show behind the show for a couple of the other bandmates, and the only thing that they'll talk about is the fact that you guys carried on the tradition of what happened in the Schaefer household growing up. The idea of hairpiece patrol, looking at who's coming on and how you would be able to crack up the band with guests coming on. Oh yeah, that's a hairpiece, or oh, that's a weave, or oh, that's this, that's that. What else would you guys talk about while the show was going on?
Well, the main thing in my defense was that
nothing to defend on. It's hilarious.
The secret microphone You know, we were able to have it because all of us had the ear monitors in our ears. So we could hear not only the dialogue and our own instruments and things, but also each other. And it enabled me to tell people what we were going to play next.
Yeah.
The ear monitors, you know, when we were on the air before they existed. And when they came into style, we started using it, was a revelation because I was really having trouble on that CBS stage. Sid McGinnis on guitar was way so over there that I'm trying to say, Otis Redding. Otis Redding. Meanwhile, Otis Redding, and it's in the middle of a show, so that could be a problem.
That was awesome. Right on. Very amusing. I'm glad that you brought that to show. That's super fun.
The great, iconic Paul Schaefer.
Absolutely.
One of Canada's greatest exports of all time. One of the greatest musicians on the planet.
Yeah,
Paul
here,
Schaefer, just amazing.
Absolutely. What a cool thing that you got to sit down and have a conversation like that.
Yeah, and then at Rupert's retirement party, it's like, hey, like he wrote a song for the, so big hug from Paul Schaefer. I also went and saw him and bass player Will Lee play at the Bitter End in New York. Like again, iconic moments.
Yeah, like how are those things that are now a part of your history? That's your story, right? Like what a trip.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
It is. It's very neat.
Man, I could sit here and talk with you for hours,
right
honestly.
On,
I'm having so much. I wish there was enough film on the camera to do that, man. We'd have like a hangout and have
There's
a powwow.
no film in the camera
Well,
anymore.
okay, I'm old, so we went there.
It's
I
all
meant
ones and zeros.
the card. The card has room.
The card.
There you go.
We're filling the card. This has been awesome.
This has been absolutely great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Can I just say we are from the same city. This is the city I was born and raised in, and if ever I can do anything to help you with this show, you let me know. If you ever need a substitute guest, you need a sidekick, you need somebody to get Rachel a beverage, I'm your guy.
Oh, I think Rachel might enjoy that, and
There
she's
we
gonna
go.
hate waiting on me all day, so she might enjoy that.
No, any way I can help you, Silver. Honestly,
that.
I'm so excited about this thing, and this is just awesome. It's a pleasure to be a part of it, and I would do anything to help you with this.
I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
I love
Thank
this stuff,
you
right?
so much. This
I love
is
this
so
stuff.
rad, and
Yeah.
I very much appreciate that you came on.
Fantastic.
This is great.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's give it up. Let's make some noise. Thank you so much for coming on. That was great. I give you a hand. Yeah,
That was
thank
awesome.
you so much.
That was awesome.
You're a rock star, man. Yeah, have a great night, and thanks. That was wonderful.
You betcha.
That was so cool, so much fun. Our next guest is an emerging comedian from right here in Kelowna, known for her sharp, witty humor and authentic storytelling style. She's been lighting up stages all over town and is a regular at places like Dakota's Comedy Lounge. Please give a big, warm welcome to Taryn Anderson. Hey Taryn, how's it going tonight? Thanks so much for coming on. Have a seat, lovely. Let's chat.
Perfect.
That green looks great on you.
You look like a sexy witch.
Oh, thank you. We got to be a little vibey.
Yeah, exactly, right?
How's your night going, hon?
Terrible. No, it's been great. Thank you all. Thank you all for give it up for her.
Yay
Everybody,
for her.
yes, please.
Thank you. You're lovely. I appreciate that. That was great. So, you want to dive into some questions and chat?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, it's just there.
I'm
Quickest
down.
segment ever.
Done.
Yes, please.
Oh, you're
please.
so damn funny. This is
Already?
great.
Wow, that's
Already.
all it took?
Well,
This is going to be real easy.
But the only thing with me that's easy in life, I'm a
Oh my
bitch.
God. This is for
Oh,
Shaw.
Oh, I'm dead. It's great. You've been making waves in Kelowna through the comedy scene and with your fresh perspective and hilarious humor. What inspired you to start doing this?
My need for validation.
I
That's
like that.
Pretty much that, just desperate for validation.
You know what? I like your honest answer. We could all just live in our damn truth like that.
Exactly. Well, okay. I'm trying to be funny.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's mainly actually my dad, he worked a ton, much like a lot of Canadian fathers up north, worked in a mill.
Yeah.
So anytime that we were kind of hanging out, we were watching something funny, whether it was just for laughs or we're listening to comedy albums or anything like that.
That's awesome.
So as anyone does anything is to make my father proud.
Hey, I like that too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
great.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but
It's a
trying.
good thing to chase and it's rewarding.
Exactly.
And, it's
yeah.
good.
That's not emotionally damaging at
Not
all.
at all. Just normal Tuesday, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I am having fun with you.
Good.
This is
Thank you.
great.
Whew. My father might finally be proud.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
What's it like being a trans comedian?
Oh, it's easy and there's never any problems at all. It's, you know, it's very, very interesting because, you know, you have so much to talk about and people will be like, you want to talk about your experience. Like every comedian wants to talk about their experience.
Of course.
But you'll have people who, I've had a comedian one time come up to me who is Australian and it's just like, I like when you don't talk like just about like your, like the trans stuff. Like that's great too. Like I talk about being Australian.
Right.
I'm like, I am talking about my experience. Everybody knows that Australians are annoying. That's not a new thing. Like that's not something, you know, like they make fun of your accent. I'm worried about my rights.
Yeah,
you
fair
know,
enough.
like it's a different situation.
Yeah.
But like it is still very, like it's entertaining and it's nice to have that unique perspective,
Absolutely.
especially to, you know, perform for like my fellow community. But it's also just fun to be able to go in anywhere and have people be like, oh, that's funny, and I didn't really know about that until now.
So it's like informing as well, right?
Exactly.
So that's
I'm
great.
like a walking Wikipedia.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I take that vibe.
Yeah,
Very
I will
cool.
take your money, much like Wikipedia.
Perfect. Win all the way.
Exactly, right?
Absolutely. You have a knack for turning awkward encounters into comedy gold. Have you ever had an experience that was too awkward to do that with?
This show, no. No, there's just, you know, there's just people that you'll have experiences with people, like I used to be a hairdresser, and so it's not that you can't make that funny, but it's just like, that's a vulnerable moment for people, or like I used to work at the mall. I've worked a lot. Again, I need your money. So there's just sometimes where I think you can find the humor in anything.
I agree.
But there's sometimes where you're just like, do you really want to keep digging for that one, or do you want to find something that's a little less awkward, but you can find the humor in? So I can't really think of like a specific one because I'd rather just go find a funnier thing to talk about.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I accept that. That works.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you faced or the triumphs you celebrated as a trans comedian?
It's always difficult when you're in an audience and there are people that you can tell are there to, like, they don't want to listen to a trans comedian. Maybe they're, you know, whatever their feelings are, they are not really happy to be there. You know, it's one thing when you get on stage and you can tell maybe your jokes aren't landing, but it's another thing when someone you can tell is just not having it because of who you are. That is a little frustrating. The triumph is when you still make that guy laugh.
Yes.
Like when
that's a win.
I've had a comedian friend of mine, Sarah Dawn, plug for her, pay her as well.
Nice.
It's like she noticed one time I was doing a long set and she was like, there was this guy in the back and I could tell he didn't want to laugh. And then eventually I saw him go, and I'm like, you got him. And so that was really nice. And then just again, like the biggest triumphs are whenever I've gotten to perform for like my community. I know this is a show about Kelowna. It's great, but I did get to do a show in Vancouver last month in July, where it was all trans women on the lineup, and it was for our community, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that's super special.
Yeah, Kelowna's great. Go to Vancouver. No, I'm kidding. Stay here.
Only slightly though.
Yeah, exactly.
Just vacate for a minute.
Exactly.
Right on. I'm here for that. Your humor often explores the everyday mishaps of life that we all go through. What do you think makes those little moments so universally funny?
It just happens to everybody. Like everybody, everyone has that moment where they tripped in front of someone and they had to play it off.
Yeah.
Or, everyone has that coworker that they can't stand. And right now you all thought about someone who took your lunch. You all did. Like everyone has had those moments in life where they're like, oh, that's funny. That's why I think even just being trans and people are like, oh, I can't connect to that. It's like, that's just a part of being a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're able to find the humor in that also connects to other people, like my mom makes fun of my outfits. That's the same for every woman. Doesn't matter.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's good. You're included and we'll just muck up your outfit.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I feel appreciated.
Absolutely, much love.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're known for your witty takes on relationships. Any memorable moments from your shows where your audience just couldn't stop laughing?
Couldn't stop laughing. I could easily lie and be like, every single time I've ever been on
I would
stage.
believe you. I would.
Yeah, I wish that were true. But where they just couldn't stop laughing, it's usually from like, I tend to at times do crowd work, and like when you can really like riff on someone.
Yeah,
like
that's
someone
fun.
really, you go back and forth with someone, and that just, the rhythm goes back and forth all the time. One time, speaking of relationships, I did have people kind of dying in a sort of sad laugh sort of way. I did get broken up with one time unexpectedly at a Starbucks, which was unfair, not just because my heart was broken, but I had to take the bus, so I was out $250.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, it's not fair when your heart is broken and your bank account hurts.
Right,
Like,
pick one.
Yeah, so that seemed to get people were like, "Ha, aw,"
Yeah,
And I'll take pity and laughs, whatever you got.
It's like pay me pity, right?
Exactly, that's
Yeah,
fine, and just
good.
pay me. Again. I'm really just trying. I should just have like an open guitar case. out.
Absolutely. The prop department. Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Damn, you are hilarious.
Thank
so
you.
much fun
I'll
with
take
you.
the praise. My dad's
Yay.
not giving it, so give it here.
I got you. It's cool. I
He
got
loves
you.
me. I'm kidding.
Oh my God, I love it. Your comedy is known for blending humor with heartfelt moments. How do you strike that balance between making people laugh and giving them something to think about?
I think I struggle with a lot of like mental health stuff, which is not surprising. I'm a comedian. But I think that allows you to really like, if you sit in sort of like depression or sadness a lot, your main focus is like, I want to make other people not feel like this.
Yeah.
So, you want everyone to laugh. That's what I think we all agree, that Robin Williams is one of the greatest comedians in history.
Absolutely.
And obviously we know he struggled with a lot.
Yeah.
And is he just wanted to connect people and have people laugh. And I think regardless of whether something is sad or, tragic or anything like that, you can find the humor in it. And, I'm just always looking to try and balance the two.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's great. Balance is good.
Exactly.
And laughing your ass off is great.
And when that doesn't work, I will start drinking.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is why we drink. Just a regular Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's on. I like it.
A regular Wednesday.
Right, 'cause why not?
I was like,
gonna go with
every
Monday.
Wednesday, I'm sad.
Right. It's on. It's Wednesday. It's drink day. We're good.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I like that you have a schedule.
Actually, it's drinking on Monday for karaoke.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself using comedy as a way to process your own experience?
Never.
Right? What a
Never
thing.
at all. No, it's honestly a lot of that to some degree. I do think that I sort of steer a little bit away from certain things that maybe I'm processing. I'd rather do that in therapy, something that other comedians should do, perhaps. Some people just grab a microphone and they're like, I don't need to pay. That's fine. But I will go through like things like, relationship stuff or trans stuff. But, I kind of disagree with that mindset that people are like, oh, you need to be very sad to like make good art.
No, I disagree.
Like it helps, but like, I don't think Edgar Allan Poe would be a great comedian, is
Probably
what I'm
not so
saying.
much.
He just comes up with a raven, it's prop comedy. I don't want to deal with that.
Nah.
But I do think that you can, again, balance the two and have these poignant moments as well.
Yeah, that's great. So how do you handle when a joke doesn't land or a set doesn't go quite as you expected?
That's when the drinking starts.
Yes, more drinking.
Yeah, that is very much, no, it does, but don't. Don't stay in school.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Be good.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's, when I was early on in comedy, it destroys you.
I can only imagine.
Exactly, it's just you don't want to bomb, you don't want a joke to not land. But then as you do it and you get more practiced and experienced, you start to be like, okay, then I need to work on that. Or you start to know that like, maybe that wasn't the room for this joke. I'll try it somewhere else. You just sort of, you keep trucking along.
Yeah.
Usually like a bad marriage. You just keep going until you hope it works.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There's that. I like it. Positivity.
Or you cheat on it and you go and do improv. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Some people
that's
got that joke
awesome.
and I appreciate that.
Are you in the mood to give us a little taste of your set?
You know, if I have to, I guess so.
Absolutely, I'm making you.
Perfect. Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. All right.
good.
I'm under duress. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm going to give you the stage, my darling,
Oh,
and
wonderful.
you can bring the house
Thank
down.
you. I was going to be so mad if they didn't give me a microphone. Hello. Thank you all for coming. Give it up for Silver and everybody here. Thank you so much. So yes, as we have said, my name is Taryn. It is not Karen. I want to be very clear about that nowadays because it now elicits a flight, fight, or murder response, that name, you know? So again, it is Taryn, emphasis on the T, it's Taryn. The T in my name does like way more work than it should have to. Pretty much like every mother at Christmas. You know, like we all know, like Dad's looking there and he doesn't know what's about to come out of that wrapping. And then as soon as it does, he just gives you a thumbs up and you're like, thanks for your contribution. That's fantastic. As well, as we talked about on stage, I am a trans woman. We are real. Unlike any time my father said, I know you don't like sports, but I'm proud of you. You know? Thank you, Silver. Yes, no, I do very much appreciate, though, that my dad taught me how to play baseball for my adult life because now I am great at both pitching and catching. Thank you. I don't know if that will go on, Shaw. No, my parents are fantastic. They've both been supportive of the stand-up comedy and the transition. My mom especially loves that I do stand-up. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe you get up on a stage and tell people jokes, and I can't believe you put yourself out there. And I'm like, okay, you need to calm down a little. All I do is go up in front of strangers and tell them the same things I tell my therapist, but with punchlines. That is it. It's just I get more laughs and it's less expensive. That's all it is. But I do, my mom has been super supportive the whole time of her, and she's very proud of her trans daughter. She loves talking about it on Facebook. But, you know, she had a difficult time at the beginning with the name change. That's always a bit difficult after many, many years of the same name. So she'd always just be like, oh, Taryn, I'm really sorry. I'm still learning. Much like how you need to learn that those shoes do not go with that dress, you know? Like, I always knew that I was a nerd, but I didn't know until now that my mom is a mean girl, you know? Like, I'm still very much waiting to, like, surprise her for Christmas, and she's just, like, in the room, like, writing in a burn book, like, my daughter is a fugly slut, you know? But I love her to death. I love that I have supportive parents. It's fantastic. I am annoyed that both they and I did not realize that I was trans until I was almost 30. That is too long to discover something about yourself. That is very important. Like at 30, around then is when like you're supposed to be done baking. Like that is when the universe takes you out of the oven of life and it's like, oh, this is who they are now. Like it just pulls it out and it looks in and it's like, oh, so this one just loves boats, has an obsession with 90s grunge, and hates ostriches for some reason. Like that's it. That's what that person is from now on. And just being in your 30s in general is weird. I'm so tired all the time. And I don't know why. Like when you're in your 20s, there's reasons for why you're tired. Like you're either like playing video games all night, or you're out clubbing, or you're like in bed looking up at the ceiling, like dreading your 30s. That's a lot of your 20s. You know? But now if I'm tired, someone asks me at 36, they're like, oh, you look really tired. Like, what were you doing last night? I'm like, it's my own fault. I didn't go to bed at 10. Like, that's it. That's all it took. You know? I do. Also, can I just complain for one moment? Why do my bones sound like an empty water bottle? I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's not really a joke. I'm very upset. But no, it's very odd transitioning later in your life. Again, I was like 29, almost 30. You know, but I also had an easier time with it than a lot of my younger peers. They have a hard time getting hormones a lot of the time. I just kind of went into my doctor and I was like, I am trans. And then that process started. I like to think that it's because he looked at my file and he was like, okay, I see the dosage of antidepressants this one is on, that she has OCD and is about to turn 30. Maybe boobs will make her happy. And that was it. And he was correct. No, it is wonderful. I so wish that there were signs that we should have known much earlier. Like I liked Aqua and the Spice Girls way too much for a young boy. Like I don't care if you're gay or otherwise. Like it was too much. I loved Sailor Moon as a kid, and I still do. Thank you. That's a trans girl. No, sorry, kidding.
There you go, Steph.
Gotcha. No, no, but I did. I love. God, I wish I had that wherever I went. No, but I loved Sailor Moon, and it was fantastic. And that should be a sign, because all that show is when your son is obsessed with a show where they're just cute girls hanging out and then they get into sexier outfits to fight demons. That is every girl's night. That's just all it is. It's just, instead of the demons being named Vartax, they're named Chad. Like, that's it. It's the exact same amount of glitter, though. The exact same amount. But I loved that show. Like, I loved it so much, but I was always terrified that, like, I was doing something wrong by watching it. Like, it was too girly. I was supposed to be doing boy things. Like, always worried my dad was gonna, like, bust into the room and be like, hey, what are you watching, my sweet male boy son? And then I just turn and panic, and I'm like, nothing, just hardcore pornography, father. And then he's like, oh, that's very manly, carry on. I'm like, thank you, Papa, you know? But no, it's sometimes though, you'll get some very weird questions as a trans person. Like, people will be like, what made you trans? And I'm like, I don't know what makes everybody trans. Okay, I do know what made all millennial Canadian people trans like me. Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman. If you're mad, it's her fault. They played that a lot, like a ton. And that was how can you not dance to that song? You put on a dress and like some cowboy boots and you're having fun. Then your mom pops in. She's like, those shoes don't go with that dress. And it's a whole thing. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Silver.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
You got the house down, man.
Okay, everyone run. They don't have insurance.
You are incredible. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for sharing
Of course,
that with us.
thank
I'm gonna
you.
hug you, okay? Is
Of
that
course,
cool?
yeah.
Awesome.
Woo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's make some noise one more time for Taryn, guys.
I'm gonna put this right
Yeah,
here.
it can chill there. That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we're gonna take a small break. We're gonna be right back after this. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're enjoying tonight's show as much as we are, but we're about to get a little meta here because our next guests are none other than the incredible team that makes Kelowna After Dark incredible. Please welcome our on-site producer, Rachel, and our director, Sterling, to the stage. Incredible team that makes Kelowna After Dark incredible. Please welcome our on-site producer, Rachel, and our director, Sterling, to the stage. Welcome to this side of the camera.
Yeah, this side. Usually I'm behind that side.
Well,
I like
how's
this.
it going? Have a
good.
seat. It's time for some fun. You guys having a good night?
Always.
Is it good to sit down?
I'm tired. I haven't slept. Like,
the struggle is real, my friends.
putting on one of these shows is a lot of work.
But
And
putting
we put
on
out three in a
of them,
day.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Woo, we got sound effects.
Yeah, we do. We
All
were
right.
pros today.
Boom.
We
What?
got
Maybe
Steph
not
in the
tomorrow,
house.
though. Yes, Steph. What's up?
Yeah, he understands that assignment.
He was ready.
Always born.
Okay. Focus, smiley pants.
Mm.
You guys want to chat? You want to do some questions with me?
Sure.
I want to go to sleep.
Not yet. Wait, it's not nap time, Grandpa. Settle down. All right, we're going to go behind the scenes and we're going to get the dish on the DL of all the craziness.
Oh, so much crazy.
So much crazy. It's all in me. We're good.
Yeah.
So, Sterling, as the director,
Yes.
you've been with us since day one. 3 weeks ago.
Totally.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
What was your initial vision for Kelowna After Dark, and have we stuck to that vibe?
No, we've improved upon it. I love the sound effects, the extraness that we were putting into it, the LUXXification.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a word
I
now.
like your lexicon. Just do it.
Of course.
Invent.
I will, and I do. I shall, and I have.
And it's done.
Yes, I am a rhymer.
We're not letting Rachel talk. Rachel, you look quite pretty over there.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Oh, I got it from my mama. See what I did there? All right. What is one behind the scenes moment that stands out to you? Something funny or fabulous or stupid? Got a moment?
I would have to say probably the ability to like fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing these shows, if anything can go wrong,
Oh, it does.
it does go wrong.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. So
Fun stuff. But you're
Yeah.
having a good time though, right?
oh, I'm having a great time.
Oh yeah,
such a
we
good
stole
mama.
days from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Thank you for that, by the
Yeah,
way.
you're welcome. It's been my pleasure.
Mine too. I appreciate you. We've had such a diverse lineup of guests on the show. How do you go about planning and deciding who we bring on each week?
Well, it has to each week, yes. When we get picked up, wink, 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 wink.
Hey.
Nudge, nudge, saying it without saying it. But no, it has to fit the theme of it has to be local enough for us to experience ourselves, and we want to show off that type of talent, but it also has to be within the genre of entertainment, nightlife that Kelowna has to offer. Like, you can't just be a dentist that comes on.
Hey man, I've seen some creative dentists. Check out my smile.
Yes.
Heyo.
Everyone likes veneers, especially the French. They like to
Boom.
smile.
Yeah. Fabulous. Hey, my mama's friend. You've been all over the place. You've been like Métis earlier, and now I'm bringing up your Frenchness.
I got offered to be my beverages to be gotten by one of the guests.
Hey yo, coming up in the world.
Right?
Damn yeah. Sterling, you're directing the show in real time. How do you keep up with all the moving parts, from the interviews to the performances and the live audience? And
I have Stefan.
yeah,
That's how I keep up with it. He is so important to the audio cues that I don't have to take care of.
nice.
Like making sure that everything is set back there. My crew is happy they're taken care of. Nathan's always on it about the cameras, battery power, how much time is left in the SD cards. Oh man, it's a struggle sometimes.
But it's a good
especially if we need to
struggle.
like find some sort of equipment on a now basis.
Let's not forget our cocoon lady.
Oh yes, in the.
Wait, I'm not one of the cool kids. Bring me on your adventure.
Our cocoon.
Oh yeah, she's like
Shay.
in the
She's in
cupboard
her
there.
own
Just
little
she's got like
cocoon.
3 pillows just chilling out.
Yeah.
Heck.
I'm lost.
Shay.
Oh, okay.
The one that you
okay.
keep spelling SHAE.
I did not. You did, and then you drove it the hell home, and then I sent you to the email, and
She's
you
lying.
were wrong.
She's lying.
You were wrong.
I keep-
Tell the truth. You can't handle the truth. Sorry, Shay. Hey, what's up, girl? I'm gonna get a hold of you next. You just wait. You're just kidding, sort of. to the crew. Okay, we don't see much of you guys on camera, but you guys are the backbone of the whole operation. What is a typical day like for getting ready for a show like this?
Get in early. Make sure that anyone else has used the studio beforehand. Their traces is no longer left. Like when we came in here, there was all sorts of equipment in here. None of this was placed nicely. All had to be redone. Everything had to be refinessed.
Oh, look how pretty a job y'all did.
Yeah, the photography crew came in here and messed things up.
It's okay. One might have pretty. It's good.
Yeah, like you came together nicely.
Yeah, it's very nice. What about you, pretty lady? Got words?
Guarding. Sorry.
Oh my God, if I'm not your freaking daughter, did you just squirrel out into nothing?
I was listening to his answer.
Good job. Okay, so multitasking. We're going to cover that in the next episode, okay? Oh my God, I love it. All right, before I kick you guys off the big comfy couch, is there anything that you guys want to say before you go?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a serious 10-second tidy at the end of this.
Yes, you got my reference, you old dude,
Always.
you.
I date myself constantly that I get made fun of in this class.
It's okay, Grandpa. We love you.
Hey, original 150 Pokemon is where it's at.
Nice, nice. It's good.
Represent.
What?
That's right.
Oh my God.
What about you, Rachel? You doing good over there?
I'm doing great.
That's
I've loved
fabulous.
this experience, having been thrown into this.
Sorry.
But that's okay. That's okay. Everything went smoothly and the guests arrived on time, which is huge.
I wasn't on time, but hey,
Yeah.
details.
But that's important,
late.
right? So to follow a schedule. And even prior to when people don't follow a schedule or don't show up for illnesses or whatever, right? You just got to stay calm, cool, collective so that the rest of the guests are unaware of the little fires that you put out behind the scenes, right?
Absolutely.
So many. You
Yeah.
have no idea.
I do have an idea.
Oh, you do, but they don't.
And that's my point exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have one final question. Are your boots made for walking?
Yes, would you like me to walk?
Get off stage!
Hey, off my stage.
That's my cue.
Let's give it up for Sterling and Rachel, and let's get Shay and Nathan up on the big comfy couch, guys.
Right.
Come and join the fun. I promise I won't bite. All right, guys, come and join the fun.
What a big crowd.
Yeah, the best crowd, all the most important people.
Of course.
It's good. All right, guys, what do you hope people take away from watching Kelowna After Dark?
A laugh, a giggle.
That's good, yeah.
Just have fun. That's all we want. That's all we really want. Just people having fun. Just show off what we can do. Show off what the school can do. You know.
Dang
just
right,
have a
yeah.
good time. That's all.
I dig it.
I want them to see all the hard work we put into it.
Yeah, you guys.
For such a small crew.
Right? Okay, the fact that like y'all like did all of this magic when originally we had like what, a 13, 14 person crew?
Pretty much.
It's still flowing. Like good on you guys. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's a lot, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
Right? So much fun too. What an experience.
Yes.
Absolutely. What's been the most memorable guest or moment on the show for you guys so far?
Oh Lord.
Oh.
Clearly the ones that are still here.
There you go. I see
they
what
were
you
the
did
best
there.
ones.
Hey,
The absolute top notch.
Well said.
But if I'm being absolutely completely honest, it's all kind of a blur. Fair
enough.
Like I'm just like trying to just focus completely on solely just on the camera, making everybody look as good as possible.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not really paying attention to the actual material, more so just if it looks good.
And then,
I'm
it'll
sorry.
be a surprise for you later. We'll view and you'll be like, oh, look at that. That's,
Oh yeah, that was me.
Fabulous.
That was funny. That was really good.
Right. What about you, hon?
Definitely the comedian.
That was fun as
She
hell,
was
right?
So funny.
Yeah, I was vibing with
She
that
was
for
awesome.
sure.
She was so good.
Right on. Yeah, that was super
I
entertaining.
need to see her live.
Yeah, I'm getting like some of her dates and stuff. So
That
yeah,
would be
I'll send
cool.
you guys info. Yes, we'll go and
that'd
heckle.
be
Nah, just kidding. No, she's super rad. What are you guys in charge of on the show? Like, what are your perspective roles? What's the jam?
My role on the show is I man the camera that's in a little cubby over there, and my view is your beautiful face the whole time.
Oh, say pretty things about me, lovely. Thank you.
That's it. That's all you get.
like own the heck out of that moment there, and it's very lovely. Thank you for making me look good.
It's a very small, comfortable space.
Yeah, that's not bad up there, huh?
It's not bad.
It's kind of all right. I mean, not for like 13 hours, mind you, but it's all right.
My back is hurting a little bit,
I
but
bet it is. I bet it is. When you're old like me, you'll remember, days when it didn't hurt.
I mean, I've already got knee problems.
You're
My
okay,
back
you're
problems
done.
not gonna add
Oh,
much.
the back pasture, you go.
No, literally. Old Yeller.
Yes. Wow, now we're gonna cry. What got you both into film and TV to begin with? And Shay, you can answer first.
Oh, I answered first.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
What got me into film and TV was like 2 years ago. I was a little bit too obsessed with the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
To an embarrassing amount.
Oh, I
like it
love
was
that.
all I thought about, all I would talk about. No one wanted to talk to me because of that.
I talked to you. That's super rad.
But I was more obsessed with the behind the scenes than I was the actual movies, and I was like, man, what those people do is actually kind of cool. I think I'm gonna do that, and then I did.
Nice.
So
Way to do the do.
yeah.
What about you, hon?
It's kind of complicated. So like no, it's just long and convoluted, but it's like ever since pretty much grade 5, I've been wanting to do this. So it's like a dream come true being here, honestly.
That's gonna be
As
fabulous.
like Disney movie as it sounds, it really is really awesome to be here.
That's
so
You'd be a
cool.
really ugly Disney princess.
That's so mean, man. For no
Okay,
reason.
how about we make you a fabulous Disney prince then?
I like that.
Yeah,
I
you'll
love it.
be a good dude. You don't need to
I would
be
be
a
a
good
good
girl.
dude.
So there you go.
The best
All
dude. That's
right.
what it's called. The best dude.
Yeah, we'll get someone from the animation department. We'll do it up.
Honestly,
It'll be a thing.
I would pay so much money to have that happen.
Right? So freaking cool.
I don't know about these guys, but I would make such a good main character.
You think so? You got main character vibes. I do. Shay's fighting you on it, but hey, I'm gonna put the two of you in a box like spiders and poke at you and watch you go.
Oh,
What?
God.
Just kidding.
We
Next
would
segment,
fight.
ideas, brainstorming. Not down? All right. All right, guys, last question.
Okay.
And this time, after I ask it, you guys can rock, paper, scissors to see who answers first. I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. All right, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do it.
No, we
Win.
won't.
Okay, fine. I guess we won't.
Where do you guys want your careers to go? Let's say 10 years from now, where are you at?
I don't know.
Having fun?
Have fun somewhere.
Doing the do?
In
Be
10 years,
alive.
hopefully I can afford groceries on a regular basis.
Vibe with that, man. The struggle is real.
I agree with her wholeheartedly.
Hopefully I can afford rent on top of that.
That's good. Yeah, goals, man. I'm here for it.
That's my goals. Life
Good.
goals
Those
right
are
there.
achievable. It's good.
In this economy.
Okay, it's low rock. We're in Kelowna, but we get it done. It'll be good.
Same with her, honestly. Just have a career and be able to afford everything, really, that I need.
Awesome. Well, you guys keep going like this. You guys are kicking ass.
But like in the like long run, camera operating. So doing what
Awesome.
I'm doing right now. So hopefully it stays. Hopefully.
That's great. It's cool to be able to like do what you love to do and just like really live that vibe.
Yeah. It is on. It's so cool.
Awesome. Do you guys want to say anything else before you guys head off from the big comfy couch?
I'm glad everyone came. It was an honor.
Absolutely. Winning. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming to this side of the camera and chatting. So I'm gonna make some more noise one more time. Give it up. And thank you so much for coming to chat. We are not done yet, Kelowna. Coming up next, we have a very special finale encore performance. Bryan is returning to the stage to share some incredible throat singing. You're not gonna wanna miss this because it's going to be an experience like no other. Please welcome Bryan back to the stage. That was incredible. I felt like my body just like so left my body and came back twice. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing two different performances and skills with us. It has been so lovely to chat with you.
Thanks for having me. It was an honor to be here and
Absolutely.
share with you.
Is there anything that you want to say before we end the show tonight?
No, I just said it was an honor for me to be here and perform in the city I was born in and raised in, and it's been great.
Absolutely. Thank you again so very much. Let's make some noise, guys. Give it up for Bryan. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now, I want to take a moment to show some love and thank the people of Kelowna. The support we've received from this incredible community has been nothing short of amazing. From the local businesses to our neighbors and friends, everyone has embraced Kelowna After Dark with so much enthusiasm, love. Really, it kind of stunned me. I couldn't be happier. We couldn't have asked for a better city to call home. It's truly been enlightening and impressive to see how everyone has liked our little show. It feels like we're part of one big family, and so grateful for the love that everyone has shown us and our guests and the crew. It's kind of, we haven't been going long, but there's a cool vibe here, and I dig it. Of course, a special shout out to our fantastic audience, both here in the studio and watching at home. Your energy and support are what keep us going. You guys are the real MVPs. And remember, you can find out all about all of our guests on tonight's show. You can connect with them, follow your favorites, see who else is coming on. Check us out on Kelowna After Dark on Facebook. You don't want to miss any of that information. So from all of us here at Kelowna After Dark, thank you for joining us tonight and being part of our community. And thank you for making every episode amazing with us. Until next time, Kelowna, have a wonderful night. And remember, stay classy, sassy, and a bit badassy. Until next time, have a great night, Kelowna. Is that a wrap?
Cut!